Welcome back to On the Ground. So in this video I'm going to upload some videos of trying out this chin strap right here. I tried rotating this thing in different directions to try to get the right angle. I tried it a couple ways. It's like 40 some degrees, 30-ish with wind chill. It's pretty chilly. In the videos, I don't know which ones I'm going to upload yet because I adjusted it different ways and tried it different ways. You can tell that even after 10 minutes, the transmission still was a little hard to shift. But the more it warmed up, the smoother it shifts. Just the way it is. But yeah, so I'm waiting for it to cool down before I put this tarp back on it. Seems to be doing pretty good. It's rained quite a bit. It seems that even though it was fitted and it was tight, after it's rained on it some, it's kind of seems like it's sagged up. It's a little looser now. I don't say that as a bad thing because it, before I was talking about I didn't want it to, rip or tear on this part because it was so tight. But now it's a little loosened up. Been out in the weather a little bit, so it fits better, in my opinion. Yeah. So this strap here, it fits really tight, and it doesn't really have any adjustability that I could see. So it's as is, but it does fit, and this doesn't seem to fall. I mean, I rode up and down the street quite a few times, adjusting it more than I usually do. So, it's not a whole day's riding or a whole weekend riding or the course of a year repeatedly using it. But even if you get it adjusted where you want and where you like, the more you use it, you could put stuff in here to, that's in there pretty tight, but you loosen this up and that ball, it allows it to swivel. But you got several adjustments, but you can make it permanent and it won't move. It may, bounce a little bit when you hit bumps and stuff. I don't know. Can't say from experience of using it because I haven't really ever used one before. And I don't really like zooming out on the camera because it kind of creates that fisheye look with the the lenses on the edges, if you notice. But yeah, this video is just about this because I'm trying to get out on the trail so I can put the first 100 miles in it before it starts getting really cold and put the proper oil in it. I just kind of keep getting delayed. Yeah, it'd be easy to have a vehicle, but I have to travel a good ways, and it's like $1 a mile for the U-Haul. I gotta rent. Still waiting on a vehicle. Next month will be a whole year I've been waiting on it. I can't get the title switched over in my name until the paperwork's done for that estate. It's a part of the estate, so I'm still waiting. Then I have to fly to West Virginia to drive it back. So I'll just have to use a U-Haul or something for now. I did order the Honda genuine winch mount kit. It's on the way. It should be here in a couple days. It's Veterans Day. So today we honor and remember veterans and those that have fought and given their life for this country. So yeah, I'm still waiting to actually take it out on the trail. Me wearing a helmet, it's kind of silly, for me. I mean, I understand the concept of safety, but for me, it's like someone who rides a horse with a helmet. I mean, most cowboys don't wear helmets. Again, I'm not used to it. It's pretty heavy with the phone and the mount. So I could see, your neck muscles needing to get stronger and need to get used to that. I can imagine all day your neck might be tired, head might be tired, but that's normal. If anything else. Anything to say? No. I want to do a little talk on the Honda Rubicon 700, which is the Rincon 680. That's a solid machine. It's not geared low. It's not really meant for work applications like the Rancher or Foreman or Rubicon. The Rubicon's work trail oriented with the IRS, because when you do utility work with an ATV, when you use it for that type of work, a straight axle and on a trailer and stuff for stability, that's really what you want, because once you get IRS, a lot of times you get more body roll. You can set up an IRS where it doesn't have as much body roll, but as far as stock, see, this is one of the reasons why I like Honda versus Yamaha is their racks. They're a little more beefier, a little more, utility work. I try to explain to people that your Honda utility ATVs are more like tools, whereas like a Can-Am or something is more like a toy. Even their Pro model, they're just not really designed to work on a farm and on a ranch. You can, but if you rely on them on a regular basis, I don't think that they'd hold up under a lot of use like a Honda. Yamaha does pretty good, and Suzuki and Kawasaki. If you want more power, but you want a solid machine, I would look at the Brute Force 750. It's got RS. It's a V-twin. Sounds good, but it's that Japanese engineering. The CVT, I've seen the inside of the CVT and the Yamahas. They're basically the same, and the OEM belts last a long time on the Kawasaki's. They don't offer a 10-year warranty, but that doesn't mean that they're not just as good as Yamaha. They're pretty good. You just have the benefit of being covered under warranty if something happens on the Ultramatic with the Yamaha. But the Brute Force 750, if I'm not mistaken, it has more power than the Grizzly, and it's a solid machine. I own one, so I know. I never had no issues with it. I'm aware of a Kawasaki Prairie 650, which isn't much different, that had like 65,000 miles on it, so I know you can get a lot of miles out of them if you take care of them. It's Japanese engineering. Again, they're solid. Ultimately, though, Honda usually is... I've never seen a Yamaha with the miles that a Honda has. Honda's usually, over 20 or 30 years, they tend to last that long, and people don't think that these will last as long, which you got to understand what starts failing or where you start having issues. And with the modern ones, it's typically electrical, related stuff, whereas the older ones didn't really have it. See, these have electronic fuel injection. They have more electronics. If you have the ES, you have the electric shift motor. You have the fuel pump. Versus with the Fortrax 300, it's gravity. It's air cooled. This is liquid cooled. If you keep in mind, this one, the foot shift and the two-wheel drive foot shift have less electronics. They don't have the DCT and that programming and the electric shift and that electric motor. If the electric motor does fail long down the road, because usually you can get a lot of miles before you really have a major issue with having to replace the electric motor. It's not it's not a big issue. It's another thing with like the electric or the electric start. Electric motors, they just don't last as long as the mechanical components, you know. But the engines and the frame and the chassis and suspension and all that kind of stuff, these machines will last just as long. There's no deterioration or lacking build quality. I mean, I really looked at the Honda Fortrax 300 of 96, which are notoriously long. It's 28 years old. It's still running good. Compared to this one, I mean, down to the bolts, thickness of the steel, quality of the paint. I mean, and they're just, you know, that one brand new versus this one brand new. Had to get pictures and stuff and did some research on very type of bolts they use and fasteners and designs of the frame and stuff. And yeah, there's nothing that suggests that this one won't last just as long. You just have to be aware of electronical aspects, which you get into Can-Am and Polaris, and you know that's one of the issues they typically have is you'll get an error or a code, or you'll have a switch or something go bad. It's not uncommon. Even electrical fires and stuff like that. It's happened quite a bit, but that's kind of the way it goes when you get more newer technologies incorporated, even with automobiles. More you get electronic features and stuff like that, if you have an issue with something there, the mechanical aspect, you can't use it. This doesn't have a pull start or kick start. There is a way to where if the battery dies, you can, and I might do a video on it later down the road after it's been broken in better and stuff, maybe. You can turn the ignition on, and you want to slightly pull your brake like this, just till you hear it click. So you want to hold it, have it held like this, maybe a rope or a string or something, and make sure that it's on, the key's on, and you want to put it in 5th gear. You probably heard of a bump start, but you can push start it. You put it in 5th gear, have that brake lever pulled just a little bit to where you hear it click, and you can push the machine and it'll spark and it'll fire up. I don't know about the DCT or CVT machine, but there's actually a video on YouTube. I don't know, but you can just have to bump start, push start, and so that'll be a way to get you back out of the woods if something happens, an emergency situation. So you can start it back up that way. I might, if I can find the video or something, I might include it in this one. I may try it out myself on this one, but I don't want to. I don't know if that'll cause any kind of harm to the engine in any way. I don't know that it would, but I want to double check that. And I really want this properly broke in, you know, and stuff, all the polishing of the internals before I do anything like that. And I've mentioned before, and I may put some marine grade grease on this down in here, if you see it there, just to keep it, you know, from corrosion and stuff. What was I going to say? Oh, when you go to start, when you turn the key on, wait till you hear the fuel injection, you know, give it a moment before you put the start. You know, give it time to prime and everything before you give it time to start. And let it warm up till you probably see 1 or 2 bars on the coolant level, or the temperature of the engine, before you start really riding. I showed in one of my videos how I properly warm it up. You know, I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm telling you, if you have buy a new one and you start doing that and you treat it properly, don't baby the motor, but don't overdo it. There's a break-in guideline on page 260 of the owner's manual of these machines, and I'm sure there's ones in other Hondas. And just read your owner manual, whatever brand, read it. You know, don't think you know it all. Read it, because you know I've been at this for over 30 years, and I still learn some little things. And every machine's not exactly the same. Mechanic will tell you that. Experienced mechanic will tell you that. With vehicles, with modern vehicles, you gotta double check everything nowadays. Yeah, and I do have the actual service manual for this for repairing it. I'll put that in the video. But yeah, I'm waiting on that winch mount. I may get the worn winch for this. I may put skid plates underneath it too. Hopefully I'll get that winch mount kit. It's supposed to come this week, installed before it gets too cold. Yeah, hopefully I'll get out and ride it soon. Also got some little things coming. A tire repair kit and a little bicycle pump, mini pump. I'll do a open box review on that and maybe test it out and see how well it does. You don't need anything. You have to pump it by hand, but for ATV tire. Just rambling on. No, I didn't get a hunt this year. I don't plan on it. I still got a while. I can get tags anytime here in Wisconsin within season. I don't know if there's anything else it seemed like I need to mention. Yeah, that's about all that's going on right now with me dealing with this ATV, trying to get it paid off. I noticed that some people that got some new ones, they were wondering why it has paint, all different colors of paint on it. You see those lug nut or lugs, you know. That's just from the manufacturing process. I used to work in automotive manufacturing facility. I also did inspections on parts for brand new 2025 Silverados, Ford F-150s, Chrysler vehicles. The same company, it makes castings and stuff on. But anyways, that's just I'm pretty sure I'm right. They color code them. It helps with the assembly process. You may have a whole bin full of just these type of bolts with an orange or green dot on them, or they may be color coded because they say these go here, these go there. It may be an inspection mark. We also do that. If you spec everything, you mark off on it. That's just a part of the assembly process. That, you know, some people might, well, what is that? Why is it like that? That's just a part of the assembly process. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a good thing. It means it was inspected. Let's see, what else? Oh, I noticed some people talk about the white stuff on the rims. I'm not 100% sure what that is. It could be Honda Bond. They could put Honda Bond on the lugs when they torque down the nuts. It could be that. I don't know that it is, but it could be, because it is a white pasty type stuff. Helps secure it better. But I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's minor stuff. It doesn't, you know, they're built solid. They're built well. They're built correctly. That's just Japanese engineering and manufacturing processes, which is, say again, here's another marks. That's just a part of the process. to make sure that there's no mismatched bolts and things of that nature. Which I've seen with the Can-Ams that they put on the snorkels, they put the wrong hoses, and you had bolts hanging out of the transfer case. Just, they weren't even torqued in. They were just hanging there. They were in there, but they just hanging out. And loose clamps and loose hoses. So, you know, like I said, I actually did inspection of parts. There's like 3 critical control points in inspection or at that factory. There's 2 inspectors on one line, and then it goes through 2 final inspections before it goes out the door. So there's several stages it goes through at that factory. Honda, I'm and Toyota and places like that, I'm pretty sure they're more strict. I know Toyota here recently had a major recall, but you know, Toyota's good about replacing it, even if it's major. They have a reputation to uphold, so that they're good to fix that. But yeah, so that's all for this episode. Like I said, hopefully we'll actually get out and I'll get this adjusted just right, and we can vlog my trip here in Wisconsin. It's a lot of flat terrain, but I got a bunch of garbage and stuff I have to actually haul off, but I can't do it today. But yeah, so that's I don't know the name of it. I put the link or the photos from Amazon on my previous video. It's only like $25. But so yeah, the tarp's doing good. I got some stuff coming. I'll probably do me installing that mounting kit, even though it's cold. And then whatever winch I decide to go with, Lord willing. I don't know if I'm going to go with the Axion Warren or just the VRX Warren. We'll just have to wait and see what I decide. But so I'll see you again here next time on the ground.
So there you are. You're out in the woods. You're on your couple-year-old Honda Foreman at this point. You go to start this sucker up, and nothing. You find out your battery's dead. You left your lights on or something. Now, obviously, you're going to want to figure out another way to start it, right? So you think back, oh, pretty much every quad I've ever seen before this has a pull start. And sure enough, there's a hole for one, but there's no pull start down there. Because apparently, what used to be standard equipment on pretty much every quad I've ever seen up until this point is now an optional accessory. Fantastic. So what the hell are you going to do? Well, I'm going to show you how to start it. It's relatively simple. But there's certainly going to be people that won't be able to do this, and you'll realize why in just a moment. First thing we're going to do, put it in four-wheel drive. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to shift up to fifth gear. Because fifth gear is going to give the tires the most torque advantage over the engine. This is important, and you will find out why in just a moment. So make sure your switch is on, your run switch is on, and all that sort of stuff. And I typically carry around a bungee cord. Something I've always done. You never know when you're going to need them. So what are we going to do with this bungee cord? We're going to tie this brake. So if you listen really carefully, can you hear that clicking? We don't want to jam this brake in, otherwise it's going to fight us. So I take this bungee cord just like so, and then right there, just past the click. Then we're going to wrap it around just so it maintains pressure, just past the click. Do yourself a favor, make sure you're not on the throttle or you're going to have a really bad day. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to assume position and mount the quad from the rear. Seriously. And push. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, this is cold, right? I'm touching it's cold. That is the longest it has ever taken. That is definitely worst case scenario. I'm gonna say it'll start up much quicker this time, now that it's actually running. Yeah, much easier now that